America has spent decades believing that it will always remain the world's only true superpower. But deep inside the Pentagon, a fear has been growing slowly, quietly, and relentlessly. It is the fear of a future where the United States is no longer the center of global power, because two of its biggest rivals, Russia and China, are moving closer than ever before. Not through loud declarations, not through signed alliances, but through a silent, strategic partnership that could shift the entire balance of the world. The United States watches this partnership with a sense of unease, because it knows one thing. If Russia and China ever fully combine their military, economic and technological strengths, the global system built after World War II could collapse. And for the first time since becoming a superpower, America is facing the possibility that it might not be able to stop it. This story doesn't begin on a battlefield. It begins in a series of quiet rooms, diplomatic backdoors, energy deals, joint military exercises that didn't make global headlines at first. Slowly, Russia and China realized they had something in common. Both were tired of a world order shaped and dominated by the United States. Both were tired of Washington's sanctions, its global military bases, its alliances stretching from Europe to Asia, and its ability to influence almost every major international institution. The fear in Washington grew sharper when the first signs of a deeper alignment appeared. China began purchasing billions of dollars of Russian oil and gas at the exact time America was trying to isolate Moscow. Russia began supporting China's territorial claims, including the idea that Taiwan is not an independent nation. And in return, China began supplying Russia with drones, chips, and tech that helped it survive sanctions during the Ukraine war. It was no longer just cooperation. It was a survival pact. Within American intelligence circles, the nightmare scenario became clear. A world where Russia challenges the United States in Europe and China, challenges it in Asia at the same time. A two-front geopolitical collision that the US military has repeatedly warned it cannot handle. America is powerful. Yes, but even a superpower has limits. Russia alone has the world's largest nuclear arsenal. China alone has the world's largest standing army and the fastest-growing navy. But combined, they create a force that could stretch American power to its breaking point. The Pentagon calls this strategic synchronization, where two adversaries coordinate their moves to force the US into impossible choices. If the US sends its aircraft carriers to Taiwan, Russia could intensify operations in Eastern Europe. If America surges troops to Europe, China could test its red lines around Taiwan or the South China Sea. With every step America takes, it risks weakening its position somewhere else. But it's the military cooperation between Russia and China that has raised the most alarms in Washington. Their joint exercises have become larger, more complex, and more realistic. Chinese warships now sail with Russian fleets near Alaska and Japan. Russian bombers fly alongside Chinese aircraft over the Pacific. And American satellites have even detected shared missile tracking. Data meaning the two nations are learning how to protect each other in a real war scenario. For us commanders, this was a turning point. An alliance doesn't need a treaty when actions speak louder than signatures. The fear deepened when analysts realized both nations specialize in different military strengths. Russia leads in nuclear systems, artillery, electronic warfare, and hypersonic weapons. China leads in drone swarms, naval shipbuilding, cyber warfare, surveillance technology, and AI-driven military systems. One side provides firepower, the other provides technology. A dangerous combination. And the biggest worry, hypersonic missiles. Both Russia and China have already tested and deployed them. The United States hasn't. For the first time in modern warfare, America is behind. That's a nightmare the Pentagon never expected. But the threat doesn't stop on land or sea. The competition has moved into space. Russia has tested anti-satellite weapons capable of knocking out American communication systems. China has satellites with robotic arms designed to crush or remove other satellites. And behind closed doors, the US fears a coordinated attack could blind its military in minutes. Space is no longer a peaceful frontier. It's a battlefield where no one fires a shot unless they're ready for global war. Then comes the Arctica region that America ignored for years, but Russia didn't. Russia has built dozens of bases, runways, and radar stations on the frozen edge of the world. China calls itself a near-Arctic state, even though geographically it's nowhere near the Arctic. Together, they are preparing to control the region's new shipping lanes, rare minerals, and strategic choke points. America knows that whoever dominates the Arctic will dominate future trade, military routes, and natural resources. And right now, it is not the United States. But the most dangerous threat to American power isn't military at all, it's economic. Russia and China have been working together to weaken America's strongest weapon, the US dollar. For decades, every major country traded in dollars. But today, Russia and China are trading more in yuan and rubles. Building alternatives to SWIFT and pushing BRICS nations toward a new global currency. If the world starts moving away from the dollar, America's influence weakens. Power fades not with a bang, but with a shift in currency. The United States fears this alliance because it challenges the pillars of American global dominance: military, economic, technological, and political. And unlike past rivals, Russia and China are not working alone. They are attracting countries frustrated with the US-led system nations in Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Asia that see Moscow and Beijing as alternatives to Western influence. The world is dividing again, slowly drifting into two blocks. The last time this happened, it was called the Cold War. This time, the technology is deadlier, the stakes are higher, and the lines are blurrier. But here's the twist. The alliance that scares America the most, it's also fragile. China doesn't fully trust Russia. Russia doesn't fully trust China. Their histories are filled with suspicion, conflict, and competition. Russia fears becoming economically dependent on China. China fears being dragged into Russia's wars. They need each other for now, but alliances built on convenience rarely last forever. America knows this and hopes this, because a truly united Russia and China would be the greatest strategic challenge the US has faced in a century. For now, the partnership remains an uneasy marriage of ambition and necessity. But if it strengthens, if it matures, if it becomes a true alliance, then the future of global power could change forever. The world is entering an era where the old rules no longer apply. A silent rivalry is rising, and the outcome will shape the next century. The United States fears a Russia-China alliance, not because of what it is today, but because of what it could become tomorrow. A force powerful enough to challenge the military strength of America, to undermine its global influence, to weaken its economic foundations, and perhaps, the first time since the end of the Second World War, to rewrite the world order itself. And in the hearts of American policymakers, one question remains: can the United States stop this realignment? Or is the world already stepping into a new age where power no longer belongs to one nation, but two ambitious rivals ready to reshape history?